Another day, another dollar, they say, but in Hawkeyeville, it's another day and another breaking news story as former Iowa women's basketball guard Aaliyah Guyton officially has a new home as she signs with a school from her home state. We'll talk about her departure and her signing on to a Big Ten program in just one moment. But first, a reminder, hit the like button, folks. Please, it does help us in the algorithm. And if you're new to the channel, we cover Iowa men's basketball, Iowa women's basketball, Iowa football all year long, including live call-in post-game coverage with our friends Coach Don Patterson, Coach Gary Close, and for women's hoops, it's the one and only Hawkeye great Kasheen Alexander. Keep it locked right here all the time and start by hitting that like button. We'll be back with more news tomorrow and beyond, right here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. So the news we're covering this afternoon, former Iowa guard Aaliyah Guyton has signed with the Illini. Aaliyah will be headed to Champaign, not far from her hometown of Peoria. Of course, Illinois was in her final few schools when she was deciding out of high school. As a reminder, she initially committed to Lisa Bluder. Bluder, of course, retired this past offseason, and Jan Jensen managed to keep everybody locked in to their commitments. Now, we don't know what type of a relationship Aaliyah had with Lisa versus with Jan, but one thing that was apparent during her freshman year is it was clear that Aaliyah really didn't have a ton of choice after Lisa Bluder walked away. With Aaliyah's injury situation, remember she tore her ACL during her senior year of high school. Has she reopened her commitment, her recruitment, I should say, at that point? Who knows what type of opportunities, offers she would have had on the table. Not saying she would have gone elsewhere had that occurred, had she not injured herself during her senior year of high school. But she followed through in her commitment to Iowa, stuck loyal to the program, even though there was a coaching change, played this past season, and had her moments. Certainly when she came back during that November tournament, she played very well, actually shot the three ball exceptionally well through her first few weeks of play as a Hawkeye. And as the season progressed into the latter stages of Big Ten play, really struggled to find herself offensively. Her jump shot sort of left her. And hey, I'm not going to rehash everything I said during the video I published here about a week ago when she initially entered the transfer portal, but her upside is large. That's why she was a four-star recruit out of high school. She had a bunch of high major offers. I don't often highlight some of the ridiculous comments that I see on this channel during published videos here, but I have to highlight one or two here that I just thought were absurd and because they're really irritating to me. I mean, here's a comment that I'm going to blur out the name of this person that made this comment on the video that was released when she initially entered the portal. This one user says, Gayton will be lucky to get offers from D2 programs. Another user responds saying, mid-major more likely. Late season film on her looks disastrous. She was a flash in the pan, and it seemed like the coaches were kowtowing publicly to her and her dad, overpraising her as a team leader and way overplaying her in the postseason when her performances did not warrant it. They shut down Teagan late in the year. Should have done the same with Gayton. Well, folks, just an FYI, last time I checked, Illinois is a D1 program, and not just a D1 program, they're a high major program. And you could argue basketball as a whole, right up there with Iowa women's basketball, they have a better history even than Iowa men's basketball. Women's basketball, they're on the upward trajectory there, but a really good get for Illinois. And she was wanted by a lot of high majors via the transfer portal. That I can tell you with certainty. Here were some of the comments made by Illinois head coach Shauna Green with the announcement made today that Aaliyah Guyton has signed with the Illini. Green says, and I quote, I'm absolutely thrilled to have Aaliyah join our family. We have known Aaliyah and her family for years. We know the type of person, worker, and player that she is. Aaliyah brings Big Ten experience to us and the ability to lead our team at the point guard position. She can score at all three levels. She's an elite defender, which is critical in our system. I cannot wait to get Aaliyah to campus. So again, part of the reason I brought up the comment here earlier, the comments from some fans, is I get so tired of Iowa fans. As soon as somebody isn't playing well, or even take it a step further, they decide to leave to pursue other opportunities. The response is, we didn't need them anyways. They suck. That's just not reasonable, and it's not true. It's not fair. So I am going to defend Aaliyah Guyton to some extent. Do I know whether her and her family were in conversations with other schools like Illinois during the season? No, I don't know that. And maybe they were. Lots of athletes are. Lots of athletes are getting tampered with on a day in, day out basis. But the bottom line is she entered the portal and had opportunities a bunch of other places. And if you don't want to be here, you don't want to be here. If she doesn't like the fit, she doesn't like the fit. But to say she's not a D1 player, she's a Big Ten level player. And that's the reason she was so highly touted and still highly touted after struggling the latter half of her true freshman year. Whether you like it or not, coming off an ACL injury does affect you, not only physically, but mentally. Now, Aaliyah Guyton commented as well regarding her choice in Illinois. She said, and I quote, "I chose Illinois because of the strong sense of community, the incredible growth opportunities, and the chance to be part of something meaningful alongside an amazing team and staff. I'm truly grateful to Coach Green for recruiting me again. It really speaks to the belief she has in me. I'm excited to get started and be a part of the family," or however you pronounce that with the capital ILL. Anyways, Aaliyah Guyton is part of the Fighting Illini. She'll go up against Iowa, but hey, transferring within a conference nowadays is sort of standard. I mean, that happens all the time. So I hold nothing against Aaliyah Guyton. I wish she would have stayed. I think she's a really good person, and I have no issues with her family. I know some people didn't like some of the comments that her dad made during the season. Personally, I never heard anything out of his mouth that I had much of a problem with. And he is a former player, a former high major player. He's a former All-American who played for Bobby Knight and played in the NBA alongside Michael Jordan. He's also a former coach. So, and of course, he's a dad, right? He's Aaliyah's dad. So it is what it is. I wish her all the best. And Iowa did not get the point guard from Arizona, Jada Williams, who ended up signing with Iowa State. And I know, again, because someone picks a different school, they'll automatically latch onto the narrative that's out there. Well, Iowa pulled back their interest and basically passed on her. I'm not going to argue with it because guess what? That information is coming from sources that you don't know, just like the sources that I may give you that say otherwise. The bottom line is Iowa needs more help at the guard position, whether it's Jada Williams, Aaliyah Guyton, or someone else. So they'll continue to work. They also didn't get the USC transfer, Avery Howell. She goes elsewhere. So we'll see. Updates on women's basketball are coming. Yes, it's a day-to-day thing. There's constant news coming out for Iowa men's basketball, women's basketball, and football. So keep it locked right here, folks. Give this video a like, whether you agree or disagree with what I had to say. Share with me in the comments below. Be sure you tell your friends about this platform. The more we can grow, the more we can provide as far as coverage. Hawkeye Nation across the country, across the world, right here from the Hawkeye of the Storm.